It's happening. It's Thursday again. It's another Don't Forget to Breathe. I'm going to start off quickly by something that's irked me this week. And I mean, it's proper fucking irked me. Because I was watching PMQs, which, that shit would be hilarious if these fucking cunts weren't in charge of our lives. It would be fucking hysterical. But I listened to that Starmer twat say several times, we are reducing the NHS waiting list. And I had an epiphany. I had a sudden epiphany. I am at the moment waiting to get on the fucking waiting list, the NHS waiting list. So there's a list. Surely there must be a list that no one talks about of people like me waiting to be put on the list. And I'd like to know how many people are on that list. I mean, myself, I can only talk about my own experiences. Myself, and I've said this, I keep saying this, that with the taking out the fact that I need 2 new knees, my health, my physical health, not my mental health is suffering really fucking bad, and it's because of this shit. But my health hasn't been as good as it is right now in the last 20 years. And I'm going back to when I was still playing football, before I quit smoking and put all the weight on. I'm going back to like my mid-30s. I have not been this healthy in the last 20 years. And I am now about a month into another 6-month wait. So I haven't got another doctor's appointment for like 6 months from the last one, which was about a month or so ago. And they put me on the tablets and they're like, let's see how you go for the next 6 months. So I know now that when I get my next doctor's appointment, it'll be, am I going on the waiting list to get my new knees now? And the answer, and I'll tell you now, the answer's going to be no. They will find something else to keep me off that list. And I think it comes down from above. I think they are shortening the list, the numbers on the NHS waiting list, by not putting anybody else on them. There is a list, like I said, no one's talking about, a list that I'm on, and it's a list of people waiting to be put on the list. And I'm just, I like I say, I think I'm still carrying a little bit of weight, but I think it's possible. I have said to the doctors last time, I said to the doctors, I need help in being able to exercise because that's what's let me down. Everything else is going great apart from the exercise. Because of the state my knees are in, exercise is very, very difficult. And this last doctor I spoke to said, oh, I think you have a deficiency, blah, 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 and put me on more tablets. Which, by the way, I think those tablets are affecting the sleeping tablets because the sleeping's up the fucking wall again. Even though I'm taking these fucking sleeping tablets. So, yeah, they'll find something when next time I speak to them. They'll find something to keep me off that waiting list. And I swear this must be happening up and down the country where people are not being put on that waiting list. So them cunts and down the street can turn around and say, oh, we're making the NHS list shorter by not treating people. I swear that's how they're doing it. Anyway, now I've got that off my chest. I've actually, when I was a young lad, I was heavily into theology. Some people go, oh, I didn't know you were religious. Theology, I mean, there are religious theologists, and I think that's detrimental. If you really want to study theology properly, you need to go in with a clear mind. And if you're religious, then you don't have you're going in with expectations. And I disagree with that. I absolutely disagree with that. I mean, I'm not religious in any way, shape, or form. He said with the fucking yeah, with me religion on the back of my hands. That's dudism. If you didn't know, that's dudism. It's more like a way of life rather than a religion. Well, it is a religion. Religion is to bring people together, and the irony of religion. The definition of religion is to bring people together. Is that I have never known anything in my lifetime that separates people more than religion. That's just my point of view. But I'm spiritual, as that would point out. I'm spiritual. I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. I always have been. Which led to the interest in theology. And theology is just like its boss. When you start reading these ancient scriptures, it's just fucking crazy shit. It really is. I actually started reading the Book of Enoch, which I've never read before, and it's fascinating. It really is fascinating. It's a story about betrayal and the end times, and it's like so graphic as well. I mean, there is the symbolism in there. There's a lot of symbolism in there, and I've had to look at other sources to understand the symbolism, like the Jews being cattle. Well, that sounds so bad in today's, anyone being called sheep or cattle, for example, the Jews being referred to as cattle, and being attacked on all sides by all like wolves and lions and stuff. It was like the Jewish people being attacked by all nations at the time, and still today, as that carries on today. It's very weird. And it also brought me down the road of Ethiopian Christianity, which is interesting as fuck. I mean, I didn't know about the claims that the Ark of the Covenant is actually in Ethiopia, in a temple in Ethiopia, guarded by one monk. And when this monk is of a age of basically on his deathbed, he'll pick his successor, and then his successor will then spend the rest of their life guarding the Ark of the Covenant. Nobody else is allowed to see the Ark of the Covenant. Now, there's a story and a theory that God chose Ethiopia to house these, like the Ark, and because the Ark, as you know, the Ark of the Covenant has the commandments in, or supposedly has the commandments in, and all that. And God chose Ethiopia as the place to as the home for the Ten Commandments, because of several things, and one being Ethiopia will never be invaded, never be invaded. Is that, yeah, that's invaded, isn't it? It never be taken over by any other country. It will always be a safe place for the Ten Commandments to be stored, basically. And it's fucking, the more I learnt about this, the more I understood, the more I thought, you know what, fucking could be true. The Ark could be in Ethiopia. Ethiopia's Christianity far outdates Rome's Christianity. And it's like, when you look at it, Ethiopia's Christianity is like the purest form of Christianity, whereas Rome's Christianity is like, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? Manufactured. We'll go with manufactured, although I don't think that's the right word, but we'll go with manufactured. Because the Europeans, when they were doing the scriptures, they actually took out, was it fucking 88 books or something like that? I knew the Book of Enoch, was not included in the Bible as according to Rome. But there was more. There was more books, and I didn't know. And I am going to work my way through these books. The next one I'm going to do, the next one I'm going to read, is the Apocalypse of Peter, which sounds, for the little bit that I've seen of it, it sounds fucking graphic as fuck. It seems like all works, all the scriptures that were graphic and not open to interpretation was omitted from Rome's version of the Bible of the biblical story, and that kind of makes sense because if it's open to interpretation, it's going to work in their favor, isn't it? It's going to work. They can say, "Oh no, that's not what it means. It means this," and they can work their own narrative into the story. Which, that doesn't happen today, does it? But yeah, that's So I think that's why these scriptures were left out. So, like I say, the book of Enoch was fucking graphic. It says that he met God, he walked with God. He was taken to what we would describe as hell. He was taken to hell and shown hell. He was told to not the Nephilim, the Watchers. He was told to speak to the Watchers, and the Watchers were. This explains. There's a small part in Genesis where it says the angels looked upon man and seen how beautiful woman was, and they took female brides. That's basically what it says. I can't remember the exact script or the exact part in Genesis. That's basically what it says. Now, the Book of Enoch tells more about that, goes into that much more. It was these fallen angels. They were called Watchers, and they're all names and all that in the book. They're all names, and they took human wives, slept, impregnated them, and made a race called the Nephilim. They were supposed to be giants, and they fed. They were cannibalistic. Well, not cannibalistic, but they fed on. Well, I suppose they would be, because they would be like half angel, half human. They actually fed on human. And that's basically the flood, the Great Flood. It says in the Bible that the flood was because of man had sins, blah 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 blah. But according to the Book of Enoch, the flood wasn't because of that. It was a great reset that God wanted to do because of the Nephilim. It was the Nephilim he was trying to eradicate from Earth. And that's why he sent the floods. It had nothing to do with the sins of man. It was more so the sins of angels. Which is interesting. It is. It just, it's the same story. It's just told from a different perspective. And there's also there's so much in this, and like I say, it's been an interesting read. I mean, I've got the last bit to go. But so far, it's been a very interesting read, very graphic, and I'm looking forward to reading the Apocalypse of Peter. Like I say, I've always felt that Christianity was like, I'm not gonna fuss around this, but bullshit. As a religion, bullshit. And what I've been reading with the Book of Enoch, I understand why I felt that. It's never sat right. I mean, there's all contradictions in the Bible, and we all know about the contradictions. But the contradictions are there because parts of the story are being taken out and thrown away. But like I say, it's interesting. It's good reading. Like I say, it also goes on about the end times, and the end times that I'm speaking about miles away, miles in the future. Talking about where people govern for power alone. Mr. Starmer, and it would all the system would all fall down. And basically, you would be forgiven when you see all the things. I can't think off the top of my head. I should have actually made notes, but I can't think off the top of my head. But it felt like they were talking about these days, the days we're living now. That's what they're talking about, the end times. Now, the rapture is coming, but as I've learned in the last few days, what what let's say European Christianity will tell you is that the good will go to heaven and the bad will stay on earth and be persecuted for eternity. No, the end times, as in the African understanding, the purest understanding of the teachings, which is the African version. There's no two ways about that. The purest version of the teachings, the African version of the teachings, is a realization. People's minds will be open, their eyes will be open to the truth, and the world that we know as it is will fall apart, and there'll be a global realization. And that actually does feel like the end times are now at these times because people are waking up. I mean, you can just take a little microcosm of what's going on around the world in, like, we'll take what's happening here in the UK, and we'll even go smaller. We'll talk about the BBC. The BBC, who have been lying to the public for decades and taking the public's money for decades, brainwashing the public for decades, and it's all coming out. It's all coming out now, and more and more people. I mean, they're talking about losing billions a year because people are turning off from the BBC and refusing to pay the TV license, even though they feel that they should have that money automatically, regardless of whether you fucking use the BBC's products or not, which more and more people are not doing because they're done with the BBC's bullshit. And it sounds a lot like, when you read the Book of Enoch, it sounds a lot like what's described as the end times, as this awakening of the masses and the world that we know it. This evil, cruel world that we're living in. Or we have our eyes open to it, which is it's happening. You look around, you listen to what people say today, and you look around, and it's the unenlightened few, and they are getting fewer. We call them the left. We call them the left. They keep trying to keep the narrative rolling, but their narrative's falling to pieces, and it's the narrative of the governments, and that's what pisses me off about the left, is that they claim to be against all these things, but they're funded by the things they claim to be against. It's ideology for the stupid. You need to wake up. You need to wake up like the rest of us. Anyway, that's it. Pissed off by government lies. Reading the Book of Enoch. Reading these books that European Christianity, European Christianity doesn't believe to be holy enough. But like, it's a fucking fascinating read. It really is, and you would be forgiven thinking that it was talking about like these times. What else? Oh yeah, one other thing. Me cider is fucking crazy. This, it's been going strong, been fermenting strong for a good fucking week now. I think I can't even remember when I started it, but it was easily it must have been about a week ago. Um, and it's still cracking on, and it's shown no signs of relenting. I actually used an extra 2 cups of sugar. My batches have 2 cups of sugar, and because I'm using the yeast that fucking annihilates sugar and produces ridiculous amounts of alcohol, I added 2 more cups of sugar, so this batch has 4 cups of sugar in it. And like I say, it's just fucking going crazy. It's just been going on forever. And I look across there now and it's still popping. I was hoping that this was going to be ready for Christmas. I've got my fingers crossed it'll be ready for fucking New Year's. Because when it stops fermenting, it's got at least a week of being sat in the barrel, and then it'll get bottled off. So like whatever happens, it's gonna be touch and go for Christmas. I'm hoping it'll be ready for New Year. I do hope, because New Year's Eve is basically the day that I will fucking drink. I will, whether it's my own or whether I go to the fucking store, which I actually did. I actually did the other day. And it wasn't something the store bought cider. I haven't had store bought cider in a few months. In a good few months, I haven't had store bought cider. But I did the other day. I was out in the Home Bargains, and I was just getting a few bits and pieces from there. And it's, you know what, going up onto the top road is absolute fucking nightmare for me. Only got one bag, and I take my fucking stick. I can't walk without my stick. It's actually fell over before. And it's on the floor over there, and I'm going to have to like walk over, holding on to the fucking sideboard and all that, to go and get my stick. Because I just feel like an old man. It's my knees, but I feel like an old man because I'm going around now. I have to walk. I'm even walking around here. Even walking around the flat now with the walking stick. And yeah, so I took the walking stick out because I've got my hiking stick, my hiking pole, which I was using when I went out, but it's old now and it hasn't got a fucking real big grip on the bottom of it. That's worn away. So when I go into a store, I nearly went ass over tit the other week. So like I take the walking stick with me now because that is new-ish. It's I just never used it because I don't like it. I just feel when I'm using it, I'm just thinking old man, old man, old man. And even though I am getting towards that time, I don't think I am an old man. I don't feel like an old man anyway. My knees feel old, but I fucking don't. So yeah, store bought cider the other day, and I will New Year's. I will, if that isn't ready, I will buy some cider to have a few drinks over New Year's. I normally do. New Year's Eve is just blast. Get the old year out with a fucking hangover. Start the new year with a hangover. Although I don't get hangovers these days. I haven't had a hangover in a while. Yes, that's all. That's me. Yeah, that's me out. Look after yourself. Love you. Bye.